it's Ross from Moshville Times, and I'm here with Revenant. How's it going?
Yeah, good, thank
Good,
you.
thanks, mate.
Good.
Yeah.
Cannot complain.
How are
The
you?
I can't complain. It's been a long week, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
It's only Thursday, mate. We've got 3 days left.
Well, come on, man. We're final push now.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Friday. It's the end of the week.
Amen. Well, you only got about 4 hours. You there?
I mean, well, if we're going to be technical, it's actually 3.5.
Well, yeah, no, fair enough.
Even better. Even better.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
rounding
right.
up.
It's not even 4 full hours.
Perfect.
It's
Yeah.
another. It's closer to Monday though, isn't it? If you want to be pessimistic about
There's
stuff.
always
Oh
one. There's
God.
always one.
Yeah,
Anyway, shall we move on?
yeah. This went weird already, and we're not even on our first official question.
Oh, just come sit in the van with us.
That just sounds dodgy. Unless there's free sweets, in which case I'll happily jump in.
And the puppies.
Got Werther's originals and a
You have.
bottle of whiskey.
Well, I was going to say, like, are you 70 with the Werther's Originals? But now that you've said whiskey, I'm even more tempted.
See, I know what you want.
This is weird.
Go on, cause come on,
God, this got
let's get on
real
with
weird.
this.
Are you just saying that because he's got a Scottish accent, Carl? Is that what you're?
Assuming
getting
it drinks, yeah.
I don't know.
at? Yeah.
He's
So are we now
disappearing.
saying it went from
Where
weird
you
to
gone, Ross? I
xenophobic?
can't see you, mate.
I keep disappearing for some reason.
I think this is going really well, isn't
Yeah.
He's, he's, he's gone to bed because he knows it's Friday tomorrow.
it?
Oh dear. Right. So, you've got a new EP coming out in April. What can you tell us about it?
Well, it is songs that we've basically every song bar the last track "Miss You" is stuff is songs that we've played live, and we've done one thing with them, and we were able to get in the studio, do studio things with them, if you know how to catch my drift, and then we've got an acoustic track on there because why not? It was a song that I wrote, and the boys were happy to put it on the EP. So, yeah, but also it's what we do best, writing songs about, experiences that we write about what we know. We hope that other people can have their own make their own sort of go back to their own experiences with that kind of stuff. But yeah, good, clean fun, rock and roll.
Uh,
Mm.
Obviously, as you said, the songs are about relatable subjects. Is that always the intention when you sit down to write music, or is there ever like an idea to like, oh, let's just tell a story?
Yeah, I think we always come from pretty much like there's always an element of truth in what we do. I think certainly where the songs tend to be written by myself and Sam in terms of where they where they come from, uh, and what they're about, and a lot of the time that's quite therapeutic for me and Sam. We're probably getting a lot of stuff off our chest. We're men. We don't like to sit down and talk about how we feel. We kind of, I guess we get out in our music, right? This is what we do. So yeah, there's always an element of, there'll be some sort of bit of history behind the track and some reason why we're saying what we're saying. I mean, just to go into, I mean, Best Medicine is a track that Sam wrote about um, his fiance, Sarah. So she came along and made him really happy. She was the best medicine that he's ever had. So we all write the music, we all get in a room and make the song and the sound, but someone tends to go away and go, oh, I've got an idea of what that can be about. And the least I can do, which you've probably listened to already now. I wrote that about my two daughters and my partner and stuff. And it's just kind of, it's just real heartfelt stuff, really. But then public service announcement is about teen angst and not doing what your parents tell you, and everyone can relate to that kind of stuff. That's always a goal when we put a song out. Can people relate to it?
So first EP was released last year as well. What lessons have you taken from the recording of that EP and put into this one?
Uh,
Keep
uh,
keep
Good
doing
question.
exactly what we did last time. It came out really good. So then we wanted the
Yeah.
second one to come out really good as well.
My lesson was looking, knowing we're onto a winner when Robin nods approvingly at what we've done, and Carl goes, "Oh yeah, that's it. Just yeah,
You know,
that's the
when
ticket."
everyone has that face, you go,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, it's all right. It's going well.
In all seriousness, though, I think we've definitely learned. One, I think we know better how we write a song as a band. So, for example, I'm I'm really good at coming up with a lyric or a riff, but I can't really see how that. I'm not very good at expanding on that. Whereas Matt and Carl, particularly, are able to see a song from the top. If you catch my drift, they can see how it all should move around. And Robin is really good at pulling us. Um, so if we go, oh, we'll try this, and Robin will go, oh yeah, but we've already done that, or can we try it this way or that way? So we know how each other works in that respect, and also crafting the songs themselves, we're not afraid to try things and see what happens um and go from there really. So yeah, I think those are the two main things that I've taken from that anyway.
Yeah, and this second EP, we didn't do that classic thing of overdoing it. You know, I think with the first EP,
Mm.
we did really well and we recorded it really well. And there would always be a tendency to go, oh, we need to do something really, really new and, you know, loads of different production ideas. But actually, we didn't. We pretty much kind of stripped everything back and we just made sure that every song was completely served. You know, like there's a saxophone on um, It's the Least I Can Do. And it's put in the mix quite low down with the guitar track and stuff like that because you know I was listening to a bit of Sam Fender at the time and Bruce Springsteen and whatnot, and that song kind of fitted that, you know, and you know, a few little harmony ideas here and there, but nothing too outrageous really. Just kind of at the end of the day, you've got to do it live, so it's a tendency not to go in there and add loads of strings and choirs and backing vocals and stuff like that. It's like how are we going to do that live? We're not. So it's I mean, that was one of the things we learned from the first EP recording was actually just, you know, don't overdo it too much. There's a tendency to be done. I listen to a lot of bands these days that put tracks out and you just can't really pick a lot of stuff out. And I think that's what we do quite well is making sure there's space in these songs for all the instruments that we play.
Uh, will we see a full album at some point then? If we've got two EPs, like surely we're doing an album at some point then.
Don't know.
Oh,
Do people want an album? Do we want to make an album?
I'm
I
not a
think
I
fan of
want to do an
albums
album,
personally.
but
I mean, I'll do one if we, you know, if we, you know, the need is there. But I'm not a fan of albums personally. Um, I'm just a fan of just putting out singles or tracks, and you know, even EP is quite long for me as a concept. So yeah, but we'll see. You know, I'm not dead against it, but you know,
Robin wants an album,
an
don't you?
album is a lot of work.
I love albums. I
Mm.
consume almost exclusively albums, start to
Mm.
finish in order. So I'd
Yeah.
love an album.
See, so yeah, so maybe.
Yeah, I'm one of these people that has playlists that consists of albums in full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
it's like,
think I think it's the nature of the beast, right? We've had many a conversation. Like when we were putting this together, we thought, okay, do we want to do an album or do we want to do an EP? And Matt made a great point and said, well, look, I think if you've got to be really established to put out an album and have people consume it and it still be relevant potentially sort of 5 or 6 months later. Um, so you know, like I just for argument's sake, Deep Purple will put out an album. There'll be a cycle for that. Do you know what I mean? Over the course of maybe 12 months. But when we're coming up at this point in our career, we need? I think it's just the day and age we're in, right? People want to be consuming everything all the time. So um, I think if the demand was there, we'd probably do it as long as we had the right story to tell.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
band.
But yeah, to answer your question, I don't think we know. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see where the road takes us, I guess.
Fair. The band's only been together for a couple of years. How did you all get together in the first place?
Myself and Sam were in a band previously, and we just gelled pretty quickly as guitar players. And we didn't like the outfit that we were in at the time. We decided we needed to kind of go in a different direction, that old classic musical differences kind of thing. And we were just talking about what we wanted to do, and pretty much what we wanted to do is what we were lacking in that band at the time. So I had to convince Sam to sing again. Sam was previously in like a blues outfit, and he's got this great voice, and sounds amazing. And he was just like, "No, I don't want to be the singer. I don't want to, do that kind of thing." And I was like, "Come on, man, you got to do it. Your voice is great." And I was actually kind of behind Sam's back. I was playing his previous music to a lot of people, and people were like, "Whoa, that's Sam! I didn't realize he could sing like that. That's really good." And I was like, "Yeah, exactly." And then once I'd had about 5 or 6 people tell me that, I was like, "Right, I'm just going to get him to do it." And yeah, and then we kind of just decided, right, well, I know a bass player, a drummer. Let's go and see if they're interested, and then Sam can kind of tell you the rest, really.
Yeah, my favorite part of us getting together is Matt and I have got Matt and I was a very musical thing, we did gel really well together, and Matt asked Robin to be in the band just because he looks cool. Like I'd never heard Robin play before he got into a room, and he does look really cool. Um, and then I text Carl and asked Carl if he knew anybody that would be interested in doing a rock project, and Carl just said, "Oh yeah, I'll do it."
Yeah,
So
see, I will just say yes. I'll say yes to everything. So, and
well, and
here I am now. So,
yeah, and then we got into a room, and there was that classic thing where we've all arrived, and we're not really sure how it's going to kind of go, and then we had a bit of a jam, and then what became coming back to life. I had that riff for about, oh God, must be 7 or 8 years, and I said, I've got this riff. Should we try and do something with it? And then it's cliche, but lightning struck, and we wrote that song in about 40 minutes, or the bare bones of it. Um, and then the rest, as they say, is history. But we were really conscious that we didn't put the band together and go, wicked, we're going to go out and do a gig next week. We wrote the songs, we recorded the CD, the EP, and then we didn't do our first gig until the September of 2023. So
About
um
6 months late, wasn't it? Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, that's, like I said, that's the rest, as they say, is history.
What's been
yeah,
the highlight so far then for the band?
I think, I mean, we've probably all got different ones, but mine would be we played um we played a hometown gig at a place called Arlington Arts, um, and I went to do the. No, I lie. We were, yeah, that was Arlington Arts. Sorry. We played Rolling on My Back, and I was doing the guitar solo, and I got lost in the moment, and I thought, oh shit, I'm not going to get back and be able to do the vocal. I didn't need to. That people were just singing the song back at me, and it was absolutely mad. So that's one of been one of the highlights for me. I don't know about the rest of you boys.
for me, it was playing at the Firebolt Festival, and that was just mega, man. I just absolutely loved every second of that. Uh, I just always, when I'm feeling down or anything, I can always just think, at least, you know, I can think about that, and it's just absolutely killer, absolutely killer. And long may we do more things like that.
Amen.
Mm. What
Yeah,
about
I'm
you, Robin?
definitely with Carl on that one. Yeah, definitely 5 volt for me. And I think 5 volt for me was the first time being in a band, this one or otherwise, where I've gone to a gig and gone, oh man, I feel like an actual musician. I feel like a professional, and I'm being treated like a professional. I'm not sort of stood behind people at the bar waiting to get my turn, looking at my watch, going, oh, I'm on in 5. I really need to get this beer in. Um, it's just, yeah, treated like royalty. Uh, Great crowd, great venue, great stage. It's just excellent.
Matt.
I think it's between either of those gigs. But I mean, there's so much that you can talk about, really. Um, I think for me, it might not necessarily be a gig, but it might be more about the fact that, in terms of, if you look at our Spotify, for example, like we're listened to in so many different countries, and people, save our music everywhere, here, there, and everywhere, and we're just constantly being listened to. Which I think if you'd have told us that, obviously we've got a track at the moment that when you release it, it goes out and release radar, and you're always going to get a bit of a spike in listeners and stuff like that, and that's just naturally what happens. But I think if you told me that, a year or two in it, there's always going to be kind of 8 to 10,000 people that are listening to your music a month, I would have been really surprised. So that's quite a nice thing for me, because it makes me kind of go, okay, well, what we're doing, people actually really like. So it's now all about just kind of pushing that and progressing that, and making it, can we 10 times that? Can we make it so it's 80,000, 100,000, and then can we go from there? So it's just, I mean, that's a nice thing that actually, people have turned around to us and said, I mean, people have turned around to me and said, oh, thanks for writing the Masquerade and stuff like that. That song really means a lot to me. And you're like, wow, okay. So stuff like that is the real highlight for me. Actually, like the songs meaning stuff for people. And like, people say about Rolling on My Back and The Healer and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the personal highlight for me so far. I think the gig's always going to get bigger and better, hopefully. But yeah, the music is definitely the one for me at the moment.
And looking forward, what festivals would you like to play?
I mean, we've ticked a pretty big one off the list, didn't we, by playing Made of Stone in July.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'd quite
Um,
like to play the last Black Sabbath gig. I think that would be quite good.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
have you not had the phone call yet, mate?
No, no,
Uh,
not yet.
it'd
Uh,
be
no,
it'd be
festivals.
it'd be
Oh, I
good to
don't
play
know.
like it'd be good to play like I think it'd be good to play things like I mean download and stuff like that. But I think also things like there's Wildfire and Call of the Wild and those kind of festivals. I think hell, I'd love to play Five Out again. That was a great festival. Um,
Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah. So I think there's loads of ones we'd like to do. Um,
One or two, all of them.
yeah, sod it. Let's just go for it.
Yeah.
Let's just play all of them.
I'd like to go out to. I mean, obviously, being from the UK, download is the big one, right? But I
Yeah.
think I'd like to go out to America, and I think we'd be much more suited, and probably more. I think an American audience would probably be more interested in what we do than what a UK audience would be typically. Because our sound's a bit bluesy, rocky, country. It's a bit all over the place. And I think we'd probably be a bit more um, taken to over there rather, than here. The UK's obviously, it's got Download Festival, and it's got a lot of kind of more underground stuff. But I think for our kind of middle of the road mainstream kind of rock sound, I think we'd be more better over there. So there's quite a few over there I'd quite like to go and play. Really, should be good.
And what about bands? What is there any particular bands you'd like to play with?
Oh, yeah,
Mm.
I'd
That's
love
a
to.
good question.
There's so many, but the one, uh, I mean, we're playing with Blackstone Chariot made of stone, um, but I'd love to go out with Slash or Guns N' Roses purely from an inspiration point of view, because I mean, I'm sure people will hear it when they hear the new EP, but a lot of my guitar playing comes from the Slash school of guitar playing. Um, so yeah, I'd love to do a gig with them at some point.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think.
I've got no. I'm struggling to think of anyone in particular, who I'd like. I just, I'm just a good joiner inner, and I'll just like to be amongst all of it. To be honest,
I was happy to be there. You're just happy to be
yeah,
there, ain't you?
I am just happy to be there. Yeah, I'll just have a good time when we're there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we would be quite good with people like, if you go down the country element side of things, so people like Chris Stapleton, Luke Combs. I think we would fit in quite well there. We could, set our set list to do quite well in front of those kind of crowds. I think some of my favorite bands are Metallica, Pantera, that kind of thing. And as much as I'd love to play with them, I think you've got to be realistic about would it be a good experience for you if the crowd would actually like it? Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So, yeah, those kind of artists would be kind of good for us because I think it would be like the middle ground of where our kind of sound would sit really. But yeah, that would be for me. What about you, Robin?
I mean, sort of much same as Sam to some degree. Slash is the reason I picked up an instrument to begin with. It's the first musician I ever knew the name of. Um, Absolutely love Slash. But other than that, well, I don't know. Yeah, we're already playing Blackstone Cherry. They've been in my top five band since 2012. So that's already getting ticked off. So
Yeah.
happy to be there, like Carl.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given for being in a band?
I started playing at 13 and I met a bass player um uh, a couple of years later, and he said to me, "Be nice to the people on the way up because you'll need them on the way back down." And I just, from that point on, I can't. It was the best piece of advice because I just don't understand people that don't treat people as their equals or with the respect that each other deserves. So yeah, that for me, be nice to people on the way up because you need them on the way down.
That's good advice. That's good advice
Yeah.
What
for
about
all
you, Carl?
walks of
You must
life.
have had a few tales over the years of,
My
people.
best advice for being in a band and being a musician, right? Which I think I've had is just keep it simple. Keep what you're doing simple. And it's so whenever we're writing songs, the temptation to, you know, it's an ego thing, isn't it? To show off all your chops and all your, just I want people to know I'm really great at a musician and all that. But actually, I think the best thing to do is you just keep it simple, keep it direct, and just play for the song what that song needs. Um, yeah, that's something I strive for.
Yeah, I think a lot of people around us also just as well just keep saying just have fun. So, and that's what we do like to do in this band. It's a good laugh, and I think for us, we're kind of just. I wouldn't say it's all that we're doing. Obviously, we've got a lot of ambition with the four of us because it is what we do and it's what we love to do. But I think for us, we're kind of thinking, how far can we take this? What can we do with this? But ultimately, it's all about enjoying it and having
Yeah,
fun. It's not about taking this so seriously that you fall out or you don't all have the same vision. It's just like Carl said, keep it simple. Just
keep it simple and enjoy it. Yeah.
yeah, enjoy it, yeah, and have a good time.
Stay in tune.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stay in tune.
Well, that's
Yeah.
optional at sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah. Every band says that playing live is the best thing about being in a band, but what's the worst?
Oh
The,
God.
Playing
Backing
live.
up at the
traveling.
end of the day,
Yeah, the packing up.
without a
Yeah,
doubt.
yeah.
No,
Um,
I mine is well going back to what Robin said about being in tune. Oh God, I've had over the course of my career, two moments where I've hit a chord and it's been so out of tune. I just want the ground to just swallow me up. It's horrible. It's just awful. But yeah.
Trying
I
to
mean,
think what.
I get quite. It's the traveling, getting rattling around in the back of a van. Gets a bit can get a bit tiring for me sometimes. I just think, oh, yeah,
It's probably not the traveling though, right? It's probably the late nights, isn't it? It's more the
Yeah.
yeah. I suppose so. Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, the gigging and all of that, and the doing the music and all that's brilliant. But, and the price you got to pay is all the hard work behind the scenes in it. So all the traveling, the
Yeah.
backing
I quite
down,
I
and the
quite enjoy
late nights
sleeping
and all.
next to you in the back of the van, Carl, to be honest.
Well, I'm not surprised.
Should try sleeping next to him in the Airbnb, Sam.
It's
Oh, do you
sharing
remember that?
one single bed.
Robin, thought you wasn't going to bring that up.
I think certainly at the moment, and I'm hoping it's not too far away, where we can get to a point where all of our stuff is just set up and ready, and then we can just turn up and practice. I literally hate having to get everything out of the garage, into the car, out of the car,
Yeah,
into the rehearsal room, out of the rehearsal room, into the car, out of the car, into the garage. I absolutely hate it. I actually dread it. I love the rehearsing. That's great. That's always good
Yeah.
fun. But just the lugging all the stuff around all the time, that is a massive pain in the backside, to be honest. The rest of it I really enjoy. I don't really have too much of an issue with all the traveling and stuff like that. It can get a bit tiring, but it's good fun and it's better than sitting around doing nothing. But yeah, just the constant lugging of stuff around. I think one of the Sex Pistols said that. He was like, "Oh, I nearly quit the band, and then we got a rehearsal space where I could leave all my stuff upstairs. I didn't have to lug a 4x12 up the stairs." It was the guitar player. I can't remember his name now. Is it Steve Jones? Something
Steve
like that.
Jones. Yeah.
Yeah. But he was like, I nearly quit the band, but then actually we've got this rehearsal room and we could keep everything up there. And then it got really good. And I was like, that'd be nice to have that one day.
So lastly, we talked about the EP coming out and Made of Stone. What else is on the agenda for the rest of 2025?
I think we're gonna. There's lots of stuff happening in the background that we're sworn to secrecy about, but we're always writing. We want to keep bringing music to people, keep gigging. Um, so yeah, I'm saying loads by actually not saying anything, aren't I? There there'll be lots more. There'll be lots more gigs. There'll be lots of writing, lots of songs, all that kind of stuff. But for now, whatever's out there, make sure you come and see us and say hello. We've got quite a good presence on social media, and we love seeing people at gigs who go, "Oh, I follow you on TikTok," or "I've seen you on Instagram," or this, that, and the other. Um, but yeah, just loads.
Yeah. Yeah. There's loads of gigs and new music coming your way that we can't tell you about, basically. But no, I think the second half of the year is shaping up to be pretty ridiculous, to be honest. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled and stuff because there is a lot of good stuff coming. And then certainly already going into 2026, it's getting really good.
Mm.
All right, well, brilliant. Thanks for sticking around to chat. If I don't see you before it, I'll see you at Made of Stone. I'm really looking forward to watching you guys.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Thanks,
Thanks.
man.
Thanks
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much.
Yeah, that'd be nice to meet you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Super, yeah.
No problem. We'll
Yeah.
make that happen.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Cheers,
All
mate.
right.
See you
See you
later.
later.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.